This is Catholic Challenge on the Living Bread Radio Network. 16 teams will test their knowledge of the Catholic faith. Join us on this journey as we navigate our way from BC to AD and everything in between. Today's defenders of the faith will take up their shield and sword to compete for prize money and a chance to move on to the next round of competition. Are you ready for the challenge? Now, here's your host, Michael Roberts.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Catholic Challenge. Today we have two teams back with us for round number 2. They're going to compete and test their knowledge of the Catholic faith. As always, each team is playing for their favorite Catholic charity, and whoever wins today will earn another $200 for that charity and the opportunity to advance to round number 3. So today we welcome back Dave and Marie Mansour. They are playing for Gennesaret Incorporated. Also, we have John Miskowski and Jan Bryan. They are back playing for the Holy Cross Academy of Catholic Schools in Stark County. So teams, welcome back. Here we go, round number 2. Before we start though, let's hear the rules.
In round 1, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 10 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, we'll begin round 1 here with the Gennesaret Incorporated, the Mansours. And David, you are the team captain. Here we go. Let's play Catholic Challenge. Here's question number 1. St. Anthony of Padua was a follower of what other very famous saint? St. Francis of Assisi, St. Benedict, or St. Thomas Aquinas?
St. Francis.
Yeah, you got it. Question number 2. Who was Paul with in prison when he wrote the letter to Philemon, a leader in the Colossian church? Was it Peter, Joseph, or Timothy? Need an answer.
Timothy.
Ah, right you are. Question number 3, it's true or false. After Saul's conversion experience, the disciples of Jesus were quick to welcome him into their group. True or false?
False.
Yeah, Paul had some work to do before he was accepted into the group. Question number 4. The story of the baptism of the Ethiopian eunuch is recounted in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 8. Which apostle met up with the eunuch on the road that runs from Jerusalem to Gaza? Andrew, Philip, or Timothy?
Philip.
St. Philip it was. Here's question number 5 for you. Paul mentioned at the end of some of his letters that he wrote with his own what? Parchment, pen, or hand?
Hand.
Yeah, sometimes Paul includes a note that the conclusion was written in my own hand, indicating that the rest of the letter was dictated to a scribe. All right, you got all 5 right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. Here it is, worth 25 points. The longest season in the church's liturgical calendar is which of these? Easter, Lent, or ordinary time?
Ordinary time.
Many weeks of ordinary time, 34 to be exact. And that is a round 1 sweep. Congratulations, Gennesaret. You now have 75 points. Let's move over now to Holy Cross Academy. John Miskowski and Jan Bryan are playing for the Holy Cross Academy of Catholic Schools. And John, you are the team captain. Here we go. Round 1 begins for you right now. Question number 1. This solemnity on August 15th honors the glorification of the Blessed Mother's Immaculate Soul and her virginal body. What is it? The Immaculate Conception, the Queenship of Mary, or the Assumption?
The Assumption.
It's a holy day of obligation, absolutely. And here's question number 2. What gift did Salome, daughter of Herodias, ask for after she danced for Herod? Was it a diamond ring, the head of John the Baptist, or bread to eat?
I was the head of John the Baptist.
That is absolutely right. Here's question number 3. At Lystra, the crowds thought Barnabas was Zeus, and which god did they think Paul was? Hermes, Dionysus, or Ares?
Hermes.
Correct. Question number 4. This celebration marks the end of the Lenten season and leads to the Mass of the Resurrection of the Lord at the Easter Vigil. What are these 3 days that recall the 3 days Jesus spent in the tomb? Is it the Triduum, the Trifecta, or the Trilogy?
The Triduum.
Yes, the Sacred Triduum. And here's question number 5. In the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verse 68, who said the following to Jesus? To whom shall we go? You have the words of everlasting life. Was it Peter, Andrew, or Thomas?
Peter.
St. Peter it was, absolutely. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. Here it is, worth 25 points. Who did Jesus drive out of the temple with a whip as he bemoaned the fact that they had made the temple into a den of thieves? Was it guards, leaders, or money changers?
Money changers.
That is absolutely right, and that is a round 1 sweep. So here we go at the end of our very first round of play. Both teams now tied at 75. It's time for our first break of the game. When we come back, we'll reintroduce you to our contestants. Stay with us. You're listening to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
Prize money for Catholic Challenge is provided in part by Ziegler Tire, serving the listening area for 97 years and counting, with name brand tires and auto service that you can trust. Find out more at ZieglerTire.com.
Prize money for Catholic Challenge is provided in part by Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union, serving families and businesses with all of your banking needs. NCUA insured. Online at ohiocatholicfcu.com.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network. I'm your host, Michael Roberts, and we've got another round 2 game for you here today as we welcome back Dave and Marie Mansour. They are here playing for Gennesaret Incorporated, and we've got John Miskowski and Jan Bryan. They are back playing for the Holy Cross Academy of Catholic Schools in Stark County. So we'll take a moment now and reintroduce you to our contestants. We'll begin with the husband-wife duo, the Mansours. Dave, you've been elected as the team captain once again. Was that a choice, or did you volunteer for that? What's the story behind that?
It was a long, hard contest.
A coin flip? No.
But I won.
Ah, very good. Well, you're playing for Gennesaret Incorporated. Remind us about that. Located in Akron, right, you said?
Yes, downtown Akron. It's a Catholic ministry that provides housing for homeless families and hot meals 2 times a week.
Wow. And as we know, that type of ministry is so important, especially when it comes to inner city, like a city like Akron or Cleveland, perhaps. Mm-hmm. How did this get started? Give us a little bit of the history of it, if you would.
Well, it was started by a gentleman named Bob Durgo. He was inspired by a visit to Mother Teresa's mission in India, and just decided to follow up on that experience by doing something for the homeless people here in his hometown of Akron. It's an all-volunteer ministry. It has one fundraiser a year on Thanksgiving morning, the Home Run for the Homeless. It's a 4-mile race.
Wow. Obviously, it's a great cause.
Yeah.
So I assume you guys are connected with it, volunteer there with that.
Yeah, we help out. Our children help out.
Great. Yeah. So it's great that you're here playing and raising money for Gennesaret as well. So again, the Mansours, thanks again for joining us, and congratulations on making it here to round 2. Also, congratulations go out to John Miskowski and Jan Bryan. They made it here to round number 2. And John, you are the team captain. Remind us, for those who are listening, remind them about the Holy Cross Academy here in Stark County.
Well, the Holy Cross Academy is a benefit for the Catholic elementary schools here in Stark County.
Mm-hmm. Remind us a little bit, if you would, also about yourself and your partner, Jan.
Well, I belong to St. Paul's in North Canton. I'm an active member in St. Paul's Men's Club, and I also participate in the Right to Life Committee. Here I work as a purchasing assistant in Canton, and I'm playing along with Jan Bryan. Jan here, she was actually converted to Catholicism in the 1960s. She's a member of St. Peter's in Canton. She's a Eucharistic minister there. Now she also volunteers at the Mercy Medical Center at the information desk. And right now, well, she has a daughter, 4 grandchildren, and 5 great grandchildren who are rooting for her right now.
Very good. All right. Well, again, John, Jan, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations again on making it here to round number 2. All right. Speaking of round number 2, we'll go on to round number 2 of this game. And before we do that, though, let's hear the rules.
In round 2, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 15 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There's no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, here we go. Round number 2. We'll begin with Gennesaret Incorporated, represented by the Mansours. Dave, here we go. Round number 2 starts right now. Here's question number 1. Through which of these sacraments do Catholics receive mercy and forgiveness? Holy Communion, matrimony, or reconciliation?
Reconciliation.
Correct. Question number 2. What sacrifice did Mary and Joseph offer at the temple when the days of purification were complete after Jesus' birth? 2 pigeons, a lamb, or a goat?
2 pigeons.
That is correct. Here's question number 3. Who is a person who speaks for God? Jeremiah and Isaiah are examples of this type of person. Is it a prophet, a patriarch, or a heretic?
Prophet.
We hear a lot about the prophets in Scripture, don't we? Question number 4. As Moses came down from Mount Sinai, his face was radiant from being with the Lord. What did he put over his face when he was talking to the Israelites? A mask, a bag, or a veil?
A veil.
Yeah, you got it. And here's question number 5. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus told the disciples that at the end of the age, the angels will go out and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them where? Into a pit, into the ocean, or into a fiery furnace?
Fiery furnace.
You got it. Absolutely right. You got all 5 right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. Here it is, worth 25 points. In the book of Genesis, this man wore a coat of many colors given to him by his father. Was it Daniel, Joseph, or Samson?
Joseph.
One of the most famous coats, I think, ever created, right? And that is a round 2 sweep. Congratulations, Gennesaret Incorporated. You now have 175 unblemished points. Let's move on now to Holy Cross Academy of Catholic Schools in Stark County, represented by John Miskowski and Jan Bryan. And John, you are the team captain, so let's do it. Round 2 starts right now. Question number 1. According to Matthew chapter 5, theirs is the kingdom of heaven. But who are they? The poor in spirit, the poor and lonely, or the poor in money?
The poor in spirit.
Blessed are the poor in spirit. Question number 2. St. Paul was originally from what city? Rome, Nazareth, or Tarsus?
Tarsus.
Correct. Question number 3, the mystical body of Christ is made up of different parts. Where are church militant located? In purgatory, in heaven, or on earth?
On earth.
We are church militant, aren't we? Question number 4, who did Joseph's brothers sell him to rather than throwing him a cistern to die? The Egyptians, the Ishmaelites, or the Italians?
The Egyptians.
No, the correct answer there was the Ishmaelites. That's the correct answer. Here's question number 5. A bishop emeritus is best described by which of these? A junior bishop, a retired bishop, or a temporary bishop?
A retired bishop.
Yeah, the Diocese of Cleveland has a retired bishop auxiliary and a retired bishop emeritus. Absolutely, as well as many others. Here we go. That is the end of round number 2 for you. And here you go, Holy Cross Academy. You now have 135 points. Gennesaret Incorporated, you are in the lead with 175. Still a very close game, though, nonetheless. Before we move into round number 3 here, we always pause and thank our sponsors. You know, our sponsors are responsible for all of the prize money here in our program throughout the whole season. And we give special thanks to Ziegler Tire, St. Raphael Bookstore, and Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union. We are so thankful to have these organizations continue to partner with us to help all of you learn more about the Catholic faith, but also to benefit all of the great nonprofits and organizations that have been benefited throughout our 3 seasons here of Catholic Challenge. So thank you to our sponsors. All right, now on to round number 3. Let's hear the rules.
In round 3, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 20 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, here we go. Round number 3. Gennesaret Incorporated, you will begin round number 3. Dave Mansour, here we go. Question number 1. While John was baptizing, what did he call the Pharisees and Sadducees? Did he call them dirty guys, beloved men, or generation of vipers?
Generation of vipers.
I don't know what's worse, dirty guys or generation of vipers. Both are pretty bad. And as we know, the Pharisees and Sadducees are kind of deserving of that title. Here we go. Question number 2. The Israelites were afraid of the people of the promised land and did not want to go forward to enter it because the people were what? Cannibals, giants, or dwarfs?
Giants.
Numbers 13 tells the story of the men who went ahead to check out the promised land. Question number 3. This priest was born in France and is the patron saint of parish priests. He is known by many as the Cure of Ars. Is it St. Padre Pio, St. John Vianney, or St. Denis?
St. John Vianney.
Correct. Question number 4. Which of these best defines the word Emmanuel? Born again, Savior, or God with us?
God with us.
Emmanuel, God with us. There's a song about that too. Question number 5, it's true or false. There are 2 major parts of the Mass, the Liturgy of the Word and the Liturgy of the Eucharist. True or false?
True.
You got it. Absolutely right. And you got all 5 right. Let's move on to the bonus question. Here it is, once again, worth 25 points. Medieval piety developed the praying of the Rosary as a popular substitute for which of these Catholic devotions? Holy Mass, Liturgy of the Hours, or the Stations of the Cross? Need an answer?
Holy Mass?
No, the correct answer is the Liturgy of the Hours. That's what medieval piety developed, that praying as a substitute. But no worries. At the end of this particular round, you have 275. At the end here, you have 275. We move over now to Holy Cross Academy. John Miskowski and Jan Bryan are the team members here. We'll begin round 3 for you right now. Here we go. Question number 1. This saint made an early translation of the Bible, now known as the Latin Vulgate. He said, ignorance of Scripture is ignorance of Christ. Who said that? Was it St. Dominic, St. Albert the Great, or St. Jerome?
St. Jerome.
September 30th, we celebrate his feast day, St. Jerome. Here's question number 2. It's true or false. During the Exodus, the Israelites departed Egypt in such a hurry that they did not have time to prepare food for their journey. True or false?
True.
And of course, that's where we get unleavened bread, and that's why the bread that we receive in the Eucharist is, of course, unleavened. Question number 3. Who is the patron saint of England, Boy Scouts, and soldiers for his role as a knight? St. George, St. Polycarp, or St. Mark?
St. George.
That is it. Question number 4. Sloth is one of the 7 deadly sins. To what does this refer? Immodesty, spiritual laziness, or following horoscopes?
Spiritual laziness.
That is it. Question number 5, here it is. Who are the first 2 people recorded in the Bible to have made an offering to God? Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, or Mary and Martha?
Mary and Martha.
No, the correct answer there is Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel were the first two people to have recorded in the Bible to have made an offering to God. All right, here we go. At the end of round number 3, Gennesaret Incorporated is in the lead with 275, but right behind them, Holy Cross Academy with 215. It's time now for another quick timeout, but before we do, we always like to leave a question with you, our listening audience. That way you can play along at home. Here's our question. What is the abstinence from food and drink for 1 hour before receiving Holy Communion called? We'll give you the answer coming up. Go nowhere. You're listening to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
St. Raphael Bookstore is a proud financial sponsor of Catholic Challenge, the one-stop shop for defenders of the faith. Their resources are geared toward lifelong and new members of the faith. Online at catholicbook.net.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge here on the Living Bread Radio Network. Before the break, we left you with a question. What is the abstinence from food and drink for 1 hour before receiving Holy Communion called? Well, it's called the Eucharistic fast, and water and medicine are allowed to be taken at any time up to the reception of the sacrament as needed. But some common abuses of this fast include people chewing gum during Mass, something we were always taught not to do in school, right? And drinking coffee on the way to Mass. But of course, the whole reason for this is to prepare your body to receive the Blessed Sacrament at communion time. All right, we've got a great game going here. Gennesaret Incorporated in the lead with 275 points, but right behind them, Holy Cross Academy with 215 points. We move on now to our final round. We call it the challenge round. It is a little bit of a challenge, but let's hear the rules.
This final round combines knowledge and speed. The first team to ring in may answer the question. If the contestants ring in before the host is finished asking the question, the host will not finish reading the question. If the answer is incorrect, no points are lost, but the other team will have the opportunity to hear the question in its entirety. Correct answers are worth 30 points each. There are 15 questions in the challenge round, and in case of a tie at the end of this round, we will have a tiebreaker question. The team with the most points at the end of this round will be awarded $200 for their organization and will move on to the next round of competition. And the losing team will be awarded $50 for their organization.
All right, contestants, hands on your buzzers. Here we go. The challenge round starts right now. Question number 1, Hebrews 9, chapter 4 states that the Ark of the Covenant contained the golden pot that had manna and Aaron's rod that budded. But what else did it contain? Anything? Holy Cross Academy.
Unleavened bread?
No, that's not right. I'll reread the question. Gennesaret Incorporated, you'll have the opportunity to answer. Hebrews 9, chapter 4 states that the Ark of the Covenant contained the golden pot that had manna and Aaron's rod that budded. What else did it contain?
The 2 tablets of the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, that is it. The 10 Commandments, of course, they were on tablets. Question number 2. St. Paul said to the Ephesians, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved" what? Gennesaret.
The church.
Correct. Question number 3. What is the arena in Rome where the Christians were fed to the lions? Holy Cross Academy.
The Colosseum?
Yeah, in the early centuries of the church. Question number 4. When Joseph and Mary lost their son Jesus for 3 days. Holy Cross Academy.
The temple?
They eventually found him in his father's house. That is it. Question number 5. What is the name of the large vessel that holds the host during Gennesaret?
Ciborium.
No, I'll reread the question. Holy Cross Academy, you've got the opportunity to answer. What is the name of the large vessel that holds the host during Eucharistic adoration?
It's the monstrance.
That is it. And here we go. Gennesaret Incorporated, you're in the lead still with 335 points, but right behind you, Holy Cross Academy, you have 305. We continue on now with our challenge round. What set of rosary meditations was introduced by Gennesaret?
The luminous.
Yeah, they were introduced by St. Pope John Paul II in October of 2002. According to the book of Revelation, when Jesus comes again in power and glory, the angels will sound what musical instrument? Gennesaret.
Trumpet.
The trumpet will announce his coming. Question number 8. El Camino de Santiago is the Gennesaret.
St. James.
It is. It's the pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela in Spain, where tradition says the remains of St. James lies. Here we go. Moving on. Question number 9. This saint was given the miraculous medal. Gennesaret.
Catherine Labouré.
Yeah, she was given the miraculous medal in a vision of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Paris, France. She was a member of the Daughters of Charity. Question number 10. The Catholic Church celebrates this feast day every November 1st. Gennesaret.
All Saints.
The Solemnity of All Saints. And Gennesaret, you're in the lead with 485 points. Holy Cross Academy, you have 305. Here we go. Question number 11. This term is most often used to describe when a person becomes morally responsible. Holy Cross.
Age of reasoning.
Yeah, at the age of 7, a person has reached the age of reason. Question number 12. She was the mother of Samuel. She was barren. Gennesaret.
Hannah.
She was barren until late in life, and after her son was born, she dedicated him to God in the shrine at Shiloh. Question number 13. This Spanish Franciscan missionary came to the New World in 1749. He walked over 25,000 miles. Gennesaret.
Junipero Serra.
And founded more than 20 mission churches in what is now California. Question number 14. What is used to make the ashes which are distributed? Holy Cross.
Palms.
From the preceding Palm Sunday, to be exact. Absolutely. That's what we use for Ash Wednesday. Question number 15, our final question. What type of sin is washed away? Holy Cross.
Original sin.
Original sin is washed away by the waters of the sacrament of baptism. Well, that'll do it. Gennesaret, you have won. Congratulations. The final score, 545 to 395. And so congratulations going out to Dave and Marie Mansour from Gennesaret. You have now moved on to round number 3, and you've won another $200 for your organization. Special thanks to John Miskowski and Jan Bryan. A donation of $50 will be given to the Holy Cross Academy of Catholic Schools on your behalf. And so you've won a total of $250 for Holy Cross Academy. Special thanks once again to our sponsors, Ziegler Tire, St. Raphael Bookstore, and Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union, whose generous support provides our prize money. I'm Michael Roberts, and until next time, do your part and defend the faith. We'll see you next week for another edition of Catholic Challenge, right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
This has been another edition of Catholic Challenge, a production of the Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio. If you'd like to be a part of the program, email quiz@livingbreadradio.com. For an audio archive of this show, or to view the current brackets, go to livingbreadradio.com and join us next time for another edition of Catholic Challenge.